Here we go. So welcome you guys to How to Position Your Social Media for Purpose and Profitability with me, Peg Samuel. I'm so happy that you guys came on. I'm really excited to have you on the webinar. It's great to have people that RSVP to also show up. So I'm super psyched to have you on. Those of you that were on here early and those of you that are jumping on now, feel free to tweet me about what you do or what you want to get out of today. I have my iPad open and I'm going to just glance at it one or two more times to see anything you guys have questions on. And the one other bonus I will say is if you guys tweet me, I will, after the webinar, retweet and give a shout out to your businesses and or your handle. So we had a lot of fun with this on my earlier webinar, and I think it's a really good new best practice moving forward that if you guys want to tweet me anything, I will certainly retweet and give you a shout out, and therefore hopefully you'll get new followers as well. So my Twitter handle is @SocialDiva, and I'd love to hear from you. I've got a couple good questions here, so I will try to hit them as I go today, and if I don't, please feel free. We're going to do Q&A at the end that we will go through them then. But feel free to send me something. I'm going to glance over a couple more times, but I've got some good questions. We've got some really good people on. I'm super psyched that you're joining me. So I know a couple of you know me because I recognize your names. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Peg Samuel, and like I said, my Twitter handle is @SocialDiva. I'm a professor at NYU and founder of Social Diva Media. So I'm an adjunct professor at NYU, and I teach media relations present and future. I'm the founder of the boutique agency Social Diva Media, and we specialize in media, entertainment, fashion, and wellness brands. We work on social media strategies and execution, and we do a lot of influencer marketing. The one thing that I really have to bring to the table for all my clients and all of you is that we do execution. We don't just tell people what to do, we get our hands dirty and we get in there. So we are able to, really learn about this stuff, just not theorize about it. And some notable projects and clients I've worked with are the Grammys, the NBC Summer Olympic Games. I've worked with John Varvatos, Ringo Starr, Harry Connick Jr., Food Matters NYC, and the David Lynch Foundation. So there's some event activations there, there's some brands, there's celebrities, there is health and wellness and social good / nonprofit. So I've had my hands in a lot of different business to consumer markets, and I basically want to take, everything that I'm learning and on the job and translate it over to help you guys. So announcements. So I know I've been looking at my iPad and I've been asking you to tweet me, but I'm going to also ask you at this point to go ahead and turn off anything that would be distracting to you, and I am going to do the same. So anybody that tweets me from now on, I will absolutely be retweeting you and commenting to your tweet later, but I won't be looking at it for the rest of the webinar so I can focus on you. It's another good idea to turn off cell phones or anything else that might be distracting. And again, I'm going to run through all of the material, and then I'm going to save Q&A to the end. So if you have questions, definitely get them ready, but it'll be distracting. You're welcome to type them, but honestly, it's kind of distracting to get them unless it's at the end because of how the chat box is on my side. So the topics to be discussed today are auditing yourself on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram basics, and how to utilize brand influencers. Also, I'm going to give you some time-saving tools. So when people come to us, personal brands, clients, anybody that comes to us, these are the things that they say immediately. We hear that there's a lack of time. They're just way too busy. How can they fit social media in their already busy schedule? And they know it's important, but they can't seem to fit it in. And then they say, am I even doing this right? So it goes back to like, hey, I'm super busy and I don't even know if I'm doing this right. So maybe I shouldn't spend my time here because I don't know what I'm doing, right? And then the other piece is I don't have a huge marketing budget. So these are the three things I'm definitely going to make sure that you guys can know how to do it right. I'm going to shift your perception on being too busy, and then I'm going to tell you some free and very inexpensive ways to market. So your outcome will be, as I just said, time-saving strategies, expert tactics, and then low cost and free marketing ideas. So I have a poll question for you, and actually I would like you to write your answer in the question box. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate yourself on social media? So just put it in the question box on the right. This will help me tailor some of what I talk about to you. Seeing what level you're at. So I got some 4s, some 2s, some 1. Scale of 1 to 5, 3.5, 8. I love it, and a 2. The 8 person, you definitely tweet me, and because I want to talk to you, because maybe we could help each other out. So this is great. Actually, it's all over. I can hit the mark on this. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is very important, and it's auditing yourself. You might say, like, what does auditing yourself have to do with social media? But after I go through this part, you will see why this is so important. So who is your target customer? So when you are thinking about if you have a product or service business, who it is your target customer. And you can't say all women or all men or everybody. You need to hone in on your market. And why is because a few reasons. One is you have to have your marketing language and your materials in terms of your creative and your logo and all that stuff to resonate with a certain audience. And also on social media, it's important, and I'll say why in a moment. So I'm going to give you a real life example. It works better for me using examples than theory. So just say, for an example, you are women's exercise clothing, and maybe you can be like, yeah, I'm exercise clothing. All women can exercise, and they all want to wear exercise clothes. In fact, some women that are not even exercising wear exercise clothes. But the thing is, you're going to need to narrow that down for your marketing message. You need to be targeted. So let's just take an example and say your clothes are great for yoga and running and they're contemporary cuts and colors. Then maybe you want to say your demo is more like the 20 to 35-year-old woman that also likes yoga and running. See the difference? So you want to think about from that, after you ID who they are, then where are they? So taking the example of the fitness clothes, if they are young women, we'll find more of them on Instagram. If you had an older demographic, say instead of 20 to 35, then more of them would be on Facebook. So you see where I'm going with this? What are your staffing resources? Is it just you, or do you have a generalist, maybe an intern? Who is it? Who is it, and how much time do you have to put towards social media? This is just really good information when you're trying to decide your strategy to have. How much time do you have to dedicate to digital marketing? So most business owners say there isn't enough time to do things, but what if you reframed your thinking considering this is free marketing where you can reach your consumers and potential consumers at any time? Then how much time would you have to dedicate towards it? So I know you're all on this call, so there you go. We know that you have at least this hour. Maybe it'll be an hour and 10 or 15 minutes. I put it that long for Q&A. But you need to just reframe your thinking from, I don't have time to making the time. And you're making the time here and now. So I have a good feeling about you guys. What are you offering? So what is the valuable content you are offering that will go along with your product or service? Let's take the athletic fashion brand again as an example. If they were to keep sending out pictures of like, buy these leggings, buy these leggings, buy these leggings. Oh, look, we have them in yellow. Oh, we have them in green. not very interesting, unfollow, right? Even if you were the perfect yogi wanting to wear the latest thing, it's just not going to capture your eye. You're just going to say, what is this? This I don't want to be sold to. Why is this person clogging up my newsfeed? So the idea would be say more about the product, maybe the product features. Maybe there for the yoga pants, there's a special design element or fabric, special events or invitations. Again, for the yoga example, invitations to fitness events, partnerships with yoga studios. Maybe there's always some new type of yoga coming out, maybe some sort of valuable content like that. Again, I know you guys aren't all yoga clothes, but I'm just trying to run through an example for you so that way you could wrap your head around how it could potentially work for your business. So just think about what are you offering in terms of value to your readers. So here's all the questions again. So once you have this, you have a more succinct plan. You know who your target customer is, you know who you're reaching, where they hang out online, how much time are you going to spend, and what is it you're saying. So this is the biggest time saver I have for you today. And believe me, we'll go through all the platforms. However, the biggest time saver is to spend your time on the platforms where your customers are. So you don't need to be on every platform. I know I've mentioned 4 and there's countless others. I think I even mentioned another one pre-call. So in my experience, it's best to do a better job on less platforms and you'll be more effective. You don't want to spread yourself too thin over multiple platforms and not do a good job. You want to just pick something that you think is going to be really effective and you watch it grow. And just to give you a benchmark, the companies that are doing a great job on social might not be killing it on every single platform. And then the companies that you're hearing that are killing it, right? You're like, wow, they're doing awesome job on social and maybe almost every platform. They are large companies. They have full-time in-house teams, like multiple people and outside agencies. So what I'm saying here is you can make an impact on your business with focus. And this, again, is your best time saver. Focus, less is more. So now I'm going to go through the platforms. So Facebook. So 80% of social network users prefer to connect with brands through Facebook. That is a big number, and Facebook's numbers are very impressive. So there's thought here around being there. So if you are a brand that you're going to be on Facebook, and when I'm talking about brands, I also mean personal brands, authors, entrepreneurs, celebrities, CEOs, and the like. It's you want to connect with your fans through Facebook. So, people ask me a lot about likes. You want the right kind of likes, not fake likes. So the best likes are the ones that are your target customer and they want to engage with your brand. Another thing here is that Facebook holds back on the amount of people that see each post. So you want to make sure that whoever is there is really quality. Brands should have a Facebook page set up for fans to engage with, and merely having a Facebook timeline is not enough. It needs to be reliably monitored and updated as well. Garnering likes is important, but getting the right type of likes is far more crucial to expand reach for generating new fans and potential business. So this is, in a nutshell, it's all about quality. And the other thing I want to say is if you're pushing out your content to Facebook and people are interacting with Facebook, score. You have got their attention. So the next step about it in the free marketing is if you engage with anybody who's engaging with you, it goes back through the news feed, and that is free marketing. You do not want to miss out on that. Another stat that I don't have in here is 75% of people want to be engaged back within the first, I think, 45 minutes. So I'm not saying live on Facebook all day if it's not possible, but I am saying that you should be really mindful of trying to interact with your fans. So even though I've been saying that it's all about qualified likes, people will say, yeah, okay, but I really need more likes. I need 10,000 likes. I need likes. I need likes. So I'm not ignoring the fact that you need likes. We want to just make sure, again, you have the most qualified likes. So here's some best practices that will help you get there. So 4 key ways to get more likes. And again, it's the ones you want, the qualified likes. So the first thing is, again, to offer valuable content. I was talking about that when I was saying to audit yourself. What is it that people want to hear from you? What kind of content can you provide them where you're giving them something to be of service? What can pique their interest that maybe they would be interested in you? The second thing is engage. Again, I said this before, engage with people that comment. That is free marketing for you. And it also just really shows that you're in there and you're active. What becomes really exciting is if you can get really in there and you have fans interacting with other fans, but you never want to just be pushing content out and not engaging with people, especially in the beginning. I mean, this is absolutely something that is free marketing. Even when you're huge, we are talking to a potential client that's got a million fans, and people are totally engaging with the post, but the brand itself is not engaging with the fans. And to me, that is a big miss. They could probably be 3 million if they just sit there and engage with the people that are commenting and letting them know that they're there. It's not only about numbers, but it's also about sales. So that's another thing, that if you're engaging with people, then you could potentially get more sales. So another key way to get more likes, and I know I was talking now too, is free marketing. Advertising and promoted posts is not free. However, you could do it in a cost-efficient way. And just to throw out some numbers for you, if you're a solo entrepreneur, you can really get away with spending something like $300 a month on advertising and promoting posts. The more you've got, the more you get back. There's all kinds of really cool ways to optimize it, and more. I have more to say on that in a moment. So you want to post often. There's something called Facebook EdgeRank, and basically what it is it is an algorithm on the back end. And when I say so, it wants to know that you're posting on the regular to show your feed. And basically, when I say post often, I just mean once a day. If you have under 2,000 readers, 3 times a week. You don't want to spend so much time on content if there's not a whole lot of people out there. Engagement is really the name of the game. Valuable content and engagement, and the other 2 things can happen after. So now I'm going to talk about Twitter. So Twitter is the standard for real-time digital conversation. I talk about Twitter a lot in my NYU class, Media Relations, Present and Future. And even though there's a lot of noise on Twitter, it can still be a very effective tool for business. So Twitter not only provides a means to share news and content with a user base, but also provides a platform to seek out and engage influencers within a target community, can field questions and queries from existing and potential customers, and generate leads for potential sales. So what this means is Twitter is a place where you engage with anyone, especially your target audience. Just in terms of, can you guys hear me? I see a couple notes about people not being able to hear me. Yes. Okay, great. So where was I? Twitter. So Twitter, basically, we've gotten press for clients. I've sold courses over Twitter. I've met people over Twitter and been booked on podcasts. It's really, it seems like it's just a ticker tape of information, which yes, it is, but it's also a viable source that you can use for your business. What I would say is depending, again, your target market and your business goals would depend on how much time you want to spend here. Like I said, less is more, and hey, maybe just Instagram, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, is for you. If you're just boiling it down to one platform to begin, that's great. But if Twitter is going to be your platform of choice, and or you want to make time for Twitter, you really can cultivate some really good online relationships that can turn into offline relationships. And people are really open to talking to you there. I've really met a lot of cool people and found out a lot of breaking news and all kinds of things. So Twitter's still around to stay, and I very much love it. And I find that anytime I get out of it what I put into it. So anytime I'm on there and I spend time with it, I really get a lot of great things out of it. So 5 tips I have for Twitter. You want your page to be professional. Your cover photo is professional looking and maybe has something to do with your business. And then for your profile picture on Twitter, you want it to be either your picture, a professional picture, and or your business logo. You want to have relevant tweets to your readers. You want to respond to your followers. So like I said, any of you that tweet me at Social Diva, I'm going to be writing you back after I hang up tonight. So I will be responding to anybody who writes me. You don't want to start your tweets with @ if you're trying to broadcast. So I'm going to give you an example. If you wanted to say @Social Diva is having the best webinar right now, and you're trying to tell your people, it would actually only be seen in the feed for people following you and following me. So what you would want to do is either do a period before the @ sign, period, the @ sign Social Diva is having the best webinar now, or you could just reword it. I'm on the coolest webinar with @Social Diva right now. So just don't start your tweets with the @ sign if you're trying to broadcast. And then you want to use hashtags wisely. And I'm going to have more on hashtags in a moment. So poll question, you can write it in the question box. And basically, what is your comfort level with hashtags? I'm going to go over hashtags in the next couple of slides, but I'd love to know what your comfort level is with them, so that way I can speak to it. Getting lots of 3s and 4s and 5s and a 0. So, okay, people are all over the place, but this is good. Okay, here we go. So for the people with a 1 or a 0 or a 2, a hashtag in Twitter lets you search anything. So if you were to do hashtag social media tips, it would pull up all the tweets around that. So here is some tips around and best practices around hashtags. So you want to make them relevant or sometimes fun. You want to do 1 to 3 hashtags. It's the norm. So over 3 is overuse. So backing up 1 point. So you want to make them relevant or sometimes fun. I'm going to go through my example on the next slide about my business, but for say your businesses or even that yoga example, if it was a athletic clothes, and it could be hashtag yoga clothes, right? If it's fun, maybe it's hashtag I'm standing on my head, right? They're just it depends on your brand and brand voice what works for you. So fun can get a giggle here and there if it's relevant for your brand voice. Relevant can potentially get you more followers. So 1 to 3 hashtags is the norm. 3 on Twitter is overuse. You want to use the hashtag to seek out conversations. So if you're spending time on Twitter, say for me, for example, I could search social media tips and see who else is either giving tips or who can I meet or things like that. Another thing is you can, a lot of breaking news is on Twitter, and you could seek out conversations around that breaking news by looking at it. And so the other thing, the next point, speaking of breaking news, you see what's trending and you could potentially jump in on the conversation. Just make sure that if you're jumping in on conversation, you know what the hashtag is all about. I've seen major social media fails and heard of people getting fired from their corporate jobs because they have jumped into a hashtag conversation, tried to pick up on that traffic and get followers, and really made bad brand mistakes. So just if you're going to check out what's trending and jump in the conversation, know what it is you're jumping into. You want to also look for hashtags that are interesting to your brand. So you can look around and see. So I'm going to show an example here. So for my handle, as I said, hashtag social media tips. Social TV is important to me because I do a lot of social television activations. Say for any of you, some of social TV can also mean if there's a television show that kind of works within your brand objectives, you can jump in there. So for example, if you're a fashion brand, probably not the workout clothes, but if you're a fashion brand, something like hashtag Oscars or Grammys or anything like that, when they're going live, there's lots of conversation around fashion. Therefore, you can jump in, show some of your expertise, and talk to others that are also watching the show. So I find that television shows using second screen can be a real fun place to engage and garner more people. So that is where we're going to talk about hashtags on Twitter, and some of the hashtag stuff is different on Instagram, and we're going to get to that in a second. So Instagram, the facts are pretty awesome. So 300 million active monthly users, 18.5 billion photos shared in total, 1.65 billion likes, and 60 million photos are shared every day. The average age group on Instagram is 18 to 29. So like I shared with you earlier, if you happen to have a product, service, brand, something where you're looking for a younger age group, Instagram would definitely be the platform you want to focus a lot of your effort on. So I'm going to go through this slide on best practices for Instagram. So you want highly creative, instantaneous photos. And I quote that because you don't have to be necessarily instantaneous unless you're at a live event. But people think they're instantaneous. So because of the nature of the platform and because previously there were no scheduling tools for it, and now there are. So Instagram is a visual platform that makes your pictures excuse me. Instagram is very visual, so you want to make sure your pictures are interesting, they're in focus, and you have good lighting. So your iPhone is a great source for that. You can use Camera Plus app, the regular Instagram, you can do filters in there. There's lots of cool stuff you can do. Just make sure your picture, if anything, is in focus. So you want to use hashtags in a relevant way. So on Twitter, I was saying, what did I say, about 3 hashtags? On Instagram, you could probably put up to 5. Now, here is how I would suggest doing them. Not doing them in your copy that's along with your picture, but doing them as the first comment. And again, only about 5. When I see people with like 20 or so, to me, it just looks cluttered. So I think about 5. You can do them, you can hone into the ones that make the most sense for your brand and that match with your picture and get a lot of likes and engagement that way. So hashtags really are how other people can find you on Instagram. Having beautiful pictures that make sense with your brand are how people find you on Instagram. Also, another thing you can do is you can regram fan photos and or relevant images. So doing that will increase fan engagement and photo diversity. And always, if you're going to regram, make sure you tag or credit the original post owner's handle. So for us, we know that there are apps that easily make it where you can regram. We actually like to take a screenshot and repost. and and then credit the person instead, because we find that it's more visually appealing when looking at your overall brand story. You want to use Instagram to tell your story, so utilize your brand colors, be mindful of what your brand is about, and think about how you want to feature your brand visually. You want to engage, so you want to engage with people that are liking and or commenting on your photos, but you also want to like and comment on other people's photos. So when you do this, pick photos that will increase your voice and face value of your brand. It's social media, so go be social and you will get noticed. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is marketing with brand influencers. This is a great way you can utilize your friends and others for free marketing for your brand, product, or service. So, did you know that everyday people have influence? 93% of shoppers' buying decisions are influenced by social media. 90% of consumers trust peer recommendations, and only 17% trust advertisements. This is Socialnomics by Eric Qualman. This is very interesting stuff, and this leads me to believe that you can do this through engagement and getting the right word out there, that you can get more eyeballs and thus make more sales. So what is a brand influencer's role? Their role is to have powerful impact on potential customers, to represent your brand while driving word of mouth marketing. They embody your brand, they embody your brand's target market, and they're a visionary or a spokesperson. And then they're well known within their communities. So I'm going to give you an example, back to that yoga example, and I swear I do not have a yoga client. It's just super easy to build upon the same example. If you had the yoga clothes, a good idea would be, hey, why don't you get a yoga superstar, or a few yoga superstars, or just some yoga instructors that have nice online followings and full classes to wear your clothes. Give them some clothes, make sure they like them, and ask them to post and send stuff out. So that is an example of how you can make this happen for you. If you're a product, if you're a service, same thing. You can offer your service to some people that you think will be able to spread the word about it, and then therefore it's marketing, and it's free marketing for you. So the magic middle. I talk about the magic middle a lot in my class at NYU. I talk about it and I've come up with it, and why the name of it is by not just talking about an A-list blogger and the YouTube superstars and the people with 1 million following. What the magic middle is several bloggers that may have the same impact as one A-list blogger. And frankly, the A-list bloggers these days are thousands and thousands of dollars to get a product placement. So being as if you're on this webinar and you're kind of doing it yourself, you're probably not in that position. So a great way that you can get around that is grab a bunch of people, magic middle people, and you can have a real impact with a lot of people. So maybe even more. I have a great quote here. This is one of my old clients. At Bond Fair, influencer programs are a critical piece of our overall marketing mix. The word of mouth endorsement is an impactful form of social PR and goes much further than any form of paid advertising. So that is just like the quote I showed you on a previous slide. Working with Social Diva Media on this program was ideal. They are creative, savvy, and connected in all forms of integrated marketing. Sherry Rudolph. So thank you, Sherry, for the testimonial. And like I was saying, if you can get a few people together, you can move the needle for your brand or product. So again, I'm going to give you a case study that you can see. We did a portion of this activation #GoRed for the American Heart Association, and we were getting the word out about heart disease during the month of February. So I grabbed some influencers. We looked at who did we know with influence in their communities that would support this cause, post or tweet or picture. So, women, heart disease. it affects a massive amount of people, right? And we could say, oh, well, our target's all women. Well, wait, everybody knows a woman. No. So honing in on what made sense, like I said in the beginning, who is your target market? We were able to hone in and decide which influencers did we want to approach. And you'll see here we have a holistic health coach, a fitness guru, an empowerment speaker and author, myself, a doula, another fitness guru, and then a friend that's a celebrity. So she also is really well known for her health and wellness and being spiritual on the shows that she's on. So we asked these women and others. And also, one thing that I want to mention is we asked these women to spread the word. And this is a social good campaign, so it's relatively easy to get buy-in because you're just really helping out. There's no for-profit. And the other thing is, though, to get more results, we made it very easy for people to tweet it out. So we might send them copy that they can use or edit. And in this case, the most important thing was to put the handle in with the messaging. So the two examples on the left, Dina and myself, I used some pre-given copy from that we had come up with, right, which was absolutely amazing. And then the two examples on the right, they went ahead and put their own story in there. So those were really all beautiful things for this campaign. So for this campaign, I think I showed you the picture with 8, and then we had a couple more. We got about 2 million impressions, and that's pretty impressive. That could be one blogger, one A-list, 2 million. So we got 2 million from 8 people, and so it can be done. So now I'm going to talk about tools and resources. So this section's actually huge. There is an entire class in my NYU semester about this. So I will talk about this for 2.5 hours at one of my classes with a couple guest speakers. And then I know that there's a class that they spend 8 or 10 weeks on this. So I'm just going to cover some basics that'll help you better your social media. Then we've got time for all the Q&A you've got. And then I want to talk to you about our social media school and upcoming courses that are really exciting. So tools and resources. I could probably spend an hour on each one of these tools and resources. My first recommendation to any client would be that you pick a content scheduling tool such as Hootsuite or Sprout Social. They aggregate a lot of information into one place and make it easier to work with your content, engage, and they also have excellent reports. So they're really good to schedule stuff. They've got great reports. They're extremely helpful. Sprout Social, I think it's like $49 or $59 a month. Hootsuite, I believe, depending on how many people you have on it, it can be free or $9.99 or $19.99. It depends on how many people you have on there. And then in addition to those two platforms, I want you to take advantage of Facebook Analytics and Twitter Analytics. They give you detailed information on your audience, posts, tweets, and they are free. So the thing I really want you to look at is if you, in the beginning, are identifying who's your target audience and where are they hanging out, right? And if you're picking Twitter or Facebook, you want to look at these analytics and see, is that mirroring what you're trying to achieve? If you really want the 40 to 50-year-old woman that lives in New York City and your marketing message is out to them, is that the person you're actually reaching? And the back end will tell you all that. And it's really interesting stuff. So it just will endorse that you're doing things right or whether you need to pivot. And again, it's free. So again, I have a whole class and there's a whole semester on this. I could talk all night about this. And we only have so much time. So here's a time-saving tip I want to show you. I call it a data tool, but it's also within Twitter. You want to set up lists. So if you set up lists in categories for easier following and engagement. So here I have an old screenshot, just in case you're looking at any of the tweets on here. It's from a while ago. And just to go over it, I have a list that's called social brand, influencers, and luxury brands. So the social brand would be people that also were doing social media like myself that I was following. Influencers in this case were my fashion and beauty influencers, and then luxury brands. So at this time, I'm going to start right to left. And at the time that I made these lists, so with Twitter, you're probably following, I think now I'm following about 1,000 people for the 9,000 people that are following me. And that's a lot. So in order to kind of segregate it down so I can have meaningful conversation, and make lists. So on the right, the luxury brands, I had a luxury brand client at the time of this, so I was able to easily go and see what are all the luxury brands doing on Twitter. So that was the purpose of that list. My influencers list was I was wanting to activate and meet more um, fashion and beauty influencers, and there is my list of them to check out. What are they talking about? What's happening? And how can I engage with them? And then, of course, being as I'm in social media, social brand is very important. Social Diva Media School details. So, since so many of you are interested, I'm so excited about this. We have a Social Diva Media School, and in the school, we have different categories. And the first one is Facebook analytics and ads. So there's a whole video on going over Facebook and Facebook best practices more in detail than we've done so far, Facebook analytics and ads. We also have Twitter analytics and ads, and this one is huge. There's so much information in here. This is definitely something worth keeping because you're going to want to refer back to it again and again. Instagram is so hot right now, and I've taken the time to put together a whole video on it where it's probably about each video I would just say is probably between 20 minutes and 40 minutes long. So I'll go over all best practices, have some screenshots, and I'm constantly updating them for what's the most recent best practices. The next video is data tools and content calendar. So I'll go over the tools more in depth. I'll talk to you about how to set up an effective content calendar, working your campaigns into your evergreen content, and how that works and how that looks and how it can be made easy for you. Brand influencers and special campaigns. I will go much more in detail on how to set these influencer campaigns up, how to ask people, what to provide, contracts, and more. So the video course is, again, Facebook and Facebook analytics plus advertising, Twitter analytics plus advertising, Instagram, data tools, content calendar, brand influencers, and special campaigns. On top of that, I really want you to be able to keep in touch with me. So when you join the school, we add you to a Facebook private group so that way you can keep in touch with others and your contemporaries as well as ask us any questions you might have. All the modules come with worksheets that you can follow along, and it helps you think about the teachings within the module itself. So with that, you'll have access to myself and my team to ask us again any questions you might have as you're going through the school. So just to flesh it out again, these do not have to be in any certain order. Like I said earlier, less is more. If you feel like you want to focus on Instagram at first, you can go right to Instagram. If you want to focus on Facebook first, then go ahead and do Facebook. So I'm just lining this out in 1 through 5 just to say that there's 5 here. You also get worksheets and the Facebook private group. And the thing I like about this the best is you can learn at your own pace. So you don't have to pace along with some sort of calendar that I've set out for you. You can take one class, do a lot of the stuff within it, you can watch the class again, and then you can move on to the next class. So each class has a huge value. And I want you to look below for pricing. I just want you to know that clients pay us thousands of dollars to go through all of these things, thousands. And you're getting all of that in a self-paced course for less. So you just look below for pricing. And if I'm not convincing you enough, I wanted to let you know what other people are saying about my classes. So, loved my class with Peg Samuel of Social Diva Media. It was clear, concise, and very educational. Donna Shaw, Holistic Health Coach. The lovely Peg Samuel knows of what she speaks. If you need a course, take hers. VP of Publicity, 10th Street Entertainment, the 11/7 Group, Jamie Roberts. Thank you, ladies. This is such nice quotes. And I wanted to let you know that I have a special bonus for you. If you act now, you'll get How to Periscope, and it's best practices on our latest favorite social media platform. So just to tell you a little bit about Periscope and why you should care. Twitter bought Periscope back in February for a reported $100 million. To me, that raises my eyebrows to know that this is a platform that's probably not going anywhere anytime soon, meaning folding like some other fly-by-night platforms. And what it actually is, it's a live video app. So it's really addicting when you get on. And it's really very interesting because it's a live video feed. It truly is social media. And what I feel is if you're really into it, you can get on now and be an early adopter. So with that, if that interests you, you get the How to Periscope within the rest of the course for free if you act now. So again, just to reiterate everything that I'm offering you today in the Social Diva Media School: Facebook Analytics, Twitter Analytics and Advertising, Instagram, data tools, content calendar, again, advertising for everything above, brand influencers and special campaigns. You'll be included in the Facebook private group once you send us your payment. We'll hook you up. Worksheets for everything above, access to myself and the team, and How to Periscope. So pricing is just below. I want to help you make a great business. So I would love to have you in school immediately. I just say don't wait because I know you're on here to learn. So it would be great to have you come on board and just learn that much more. I really can save you time and money. So act now. We'd love to have you in school. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in school.